Yo, what is up? Thank you all for tuning in wherever and whenever you're watching this. My name is Tyler Brewer. Guys, trading, investing involves risk. Risk means potential loss. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. We got a lot of stuff we can cover. We're going to go ahead and see what we can cover here in these next 45 minutes. So let me turn my brightness up on my screen. There we go. And let me share my screen with you guys really quick. Make sure I have the right one. Cool. Awesome. So you should be able to see this screen. Hopefully. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. There we go. Sorry, I got two screens going right now, so a little bit confused. So let's go ahead. Let's go to the main homepage. I feel like it's been such a long time, guys, since I hopped on here, or maybe it hasn't. It just feels like a long time. But a lot of things have happened here recently. We're gonna go ahead and pull up the crypt too, because there's a lot of stuff we can cover, guys. We first off, sheesh, crypto is on sale. It is Black Friday sales. We can get out of here. We can get out of here. But it is Black Friday sales all around. We got prices pumping, but I don't think that's the end of it. And a lot of people think we're bottoming out here. Let me pull up Trading View really quick because we're gonna need that. A lot of people are saying that. Trade then view. There we go. A lot of people think we're at the bottom. I personally do not. I think we still have some room to move down, and there's a lot of bearish sentiment. We haven't really felt the full pain yet. We haven't felt the pain. There's a lot of negative sentiment out there, and a lot of negative stories. And I'm not even saying I agree with them or that they're true, but what matters is that they actually affect the market. So let's click the news. You can see was a Bahamas freezes FTX assets, calls for liquidator. After that, everything's FTX. It's like when Luna crashed, right? So much going on, and I'm sure we're gonna hear more stuff as the time unravels. We saw CZ from Binance. He was talking about buying it. He ended up saying, "Nope, I don't want it." A lot of stuff going on Twitter too. Honestly, I might start using Twitter a little bit more. I'm not Felix Metaverse. This is actually a dope project, low key. Um, Low key, it's dope. You guys can check it out. I'm not gonna go into it right now because there's so much stuff happening. Let's see, what do we got? I got so much crypto stuff going on here. All right, we'll save Twitter for another time. But in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and follow me at Bracra, BRACRA. Otherwise, let's get back to it. So you can see we got Coinbase laying off people. FTX is down the hole. We got Meta laying off like 11K people. Guys, we're starting to feel some pain, right? From these markets crashing. But stock markets were up today. You can see we had green over here. Now it's starting to look a little more red. But there's a lot of stuff happening, guys. There's a lot of stuff happening from the midterms that just happened, where there's potential voter fraud, right? Whether you believe it or not, it's going to affect the news. I don't care what you believe; it doesn't affect anything, right? But knowing that it is potential or potential true or potentially false, whatever you believe doesn't matter. But you have to know that is going to affect the market, right? So that's one thing adding on to it. You have the midterms that just happened, right? The voter fraud. I know I just kind of combine them into two. You have FTX, CZ from Binance, talking about he's going to buy FTX, doesn't go through. There's just a lot of things happening here. You have Bitcoin falling below a price where it hasn't been below since 2020. So, honestly, I'm actually really, really excited, and I'm not sure why none of my stuff is showing up on here. We got a brand new naked chart for some reason. Let me see something really quick. I hope it didn't delete my stuff. Hold on one second. I gotta pull it up on another screen. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, there it goes. It loaded. That's scary. Okay. Yeah, because I got a lot of stuff on here. All right. I know it looks a little messy for most people if you're obviously looking at my screen and you've never seen this before. But guys, what you're looking at is just some fibs. and some levels marked out, right? We got the last level supports up here marked out. I still have it on the chart. Again, same thing on these smaller time frames. This is the midterms when it happened, and you can see I caught ETH on a sell for over here, enter, and it went down. And honestly, I mean, even on the ETH chart, I mean, nothing's super surprising to me here. Like the levels we came into. If we go on a weekly time frame, I bet, or not weekly, what's that, a daily time frame, right? I'm not even too surprised, right? From this level over here, from this bottom to this high, we're measuring 100% of the move, and it comes back into, guess what, the 50% or not, 88 80%, 88.6, right? And 78.6%. And then we have the 50%, 618. This is the normal zone. So normally when it comes in here, normally what happens, right? When you go to the supermarket and you see hot sauce, you don't see normal hot sauce. It's like super spicy or, mild, sweet, something like that. There's never normal. But when you hear normal, it's something that tends to happen. So the normal zone is the 50% 618 zone. Then you have the 23.6 retracement. If it just bounces off here and goes up, it's usually an indicator of a strong trend continuing up. Same thing with the 38.2. It's like a medium. And then let's go back over here. So I just kind of want to give you guys a quick little breakdown in case you're not familiar with that. But again, I'm not even surprised that we're back in these zones. And I honestly want to see what happens from here because there's a lot of, there's a lot of things happening. And even if we go to TradingView or Forex Factor, my bad. Had so many websites going on in my head. We just had the CPI reports drop today. You can see, if you come in here and click on these, you can actually see what happens right at the actual data and the forecast. It's the currency, and it will actually tell you what it measures change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. So you can come in here, check it out, see what's happened in the history. So it's super cool website. I've been using this since like 2016 when I originally traded Forex. But now if you actually use this little graph right here, you can click this. And it's a little bit more useful for Bitcoin when you're just following US dollar. But if you want to see the rest of it, you're more than welcome to. And I don't really have any of the low impact news because that stuff doesn't usually tend to manipulate the markets as much. Sorry, I think I might be talking fast for some people. If anything, just slow me down on YouTube. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not even surprised, right? So same thing, right? We're measuring on a bigger time frame here from this bottom to this high, and it came down into our normal zone, right? Kind of had another move up, but didn't continue up, which isn't crazy. But I mean, again, if you expect it, if we're doing this based off patterns, right? We came in the zone, and guess what? You could have made a quick little 25% and then sold off, and again bought in again over here, but that's beside the point. So again, what the fibs do is really they're identifying patterns. Nothing crazy. This isn't some crazy tool I invented. It's just something I use, right? And really all we're doing is we're measuring 100% of the move. So from this bottom to this high, right, that's 100% of the move. But then when it retraces, right, when it comes down to here, you can see the numbers over here if you want to look. When it comes down to here, you're at 23.6%, right? So we've retraced 23.6% of this entire move. And same thing with this level, 38.2%, right? 30.2% of this entire level. And same thing with all these numbers, right? So really all these numbers over here are showing you is how far it's retraced down of this initial move that we're measuring. So all it is a tool that measures, and then we are identifying patterns within these levels. So really, this is the last level support. We look to enter on portfolio trades, meaning if you're, exchange trading, buying it on the exchange and holding it in a ledger or MetaMask, whatever. Don't hold it on the exchange because you just seen what happened to FTX, which we can go over here in a little bit on Decrypt. But again, market came down in these levels, and it's good zone for entry. I mean, even if you entered just off of this level right here, which is crazy that it hit that exact black line that I had marked up. You're even looking at 20% right there, right? So if you entered it back in these zones when it came and dipped, you could even enter. And honestly, guys, I mean, I recommend taking profits, right? You can't go broke taking profits because what happens if it comes back down, right? It comes back down into this level. Guess what? You can buy it again, but you can buy it with more money because guess what? You took profit instead of just holding forever. That's a kind of mistake I used to have when I first started trading was, oh, I'm just gonna hold on. Well, you don't really make money just holding on. The goal here is to make money. There's a couple cryptos, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically that are Those are the two main ones that you might want to hold, or someone might hold. I'm not recommending that. None of this is not the financial advice. Again, trading and investing involves risk. Risk means potential loss. Uh, but I'm not recommending anything. But this is just one might accumulate Bitcoin and Ethereum. That might be the goal, right? So the whole goal is to accumulate some. So don't get attached to some of these cryptos, right? But again, guys, we came back in these levels. I can't really say what to expect here as far as that. I think we're going to probably see price come down here. But again, I kind of want to see what happens here on this first level here on this bigger time frame, right? If you go on the weekly, you can see we're measuring a bigger time frame. Not just this small little move, right? On the weekly time frame, we're measuring this whole big move from this bottom here at about roughly what, 82 bucks all the way up to this high. So we're doing the same thing just on a larger time frame, right? 100% of the move, and then we have again the normal zone, percent 618. You had that retracement up, boom, crash, and guess what? We're coming back down to this accumulation level, but the 88.6 and the 78.6 level. So honestly, I mean, I'm personally looking for us to come, potentially down here. And only reason I'm saying that, guys, is because there's a lot of things happening in the market. You have a lot of fear going on in the space. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah. We'll go to the total market cap because the whole goal here, right, is to create a story within the market. Right? We're creating stories. That way we can read and react instead of guess and gamble. You want to have something to look at. You want to have some backing behind why'd you buy Bitcoin? Oh, I'm just holding on. Well, you might be holding on to zero. Oh my God, what if it goes to zero? Now Bitcoin's probably not most likely going to do that. But for this total market cap, guys, what we're looking at is the total market cap that's excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and this one is including every coin. So really what I have marked up here is these last levels of support. Now I don't have the fibs marked up there. Let me actually get rid of this because this is irrelevant just for now, but not forever. We'll get rid of this too. Get rid of that. I don't really need that. You know what? To be honest with you, we'll just start from scratch, right? Nothing wrong starting from scratch. So we're gonna mark from the bottom. So really you want to find the lowest candle. This is how I do it. And you can play around with it, right? It's a pattern. It's a pattern you're identifying. It's not always gonna be exact, but this tool tends to be pretty spot on, if I do say so myself. But for example, from this little top of the candle or this, right? We're gonna put it right here for now and see what we got. I personally, I mean, I already know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure because, you know, this is just my opinion. I mean, again, this is not for sure, but these patterns tend to play out pretty well. I think, in my opinion, right? I think we're going to see the total market cap, meaning some money leave the market and come down into these levels. And I've been saying that for a while. If you go back on my YouTube, you can literally see me talking about it in multiple different videos. But we do the same thing every time, right? We're creating these stories. We're going over what's happening. It's a little more exciting now because there's so many more coins. There's a lot of coins that I'm actually looking at for entries. And even now, when you're exchange trading, for example, if you enter a coin at $1 or 50 cents, it's quite a bit difference on that scale. But if it goes to $1 to a 75 cent, right? And it only goes down max, it's 25% swing. So some of these coins, guys, I mean, potentially they might not go lower. They could, but in case not, right? It's okay to dollar cost average. Don't throw the whole bag into it. But some of these coins, I personally will be dollar cost averaging into buying a little bit, but I'm not going to be spending everything at one level. Up until we find out, like, hey, all right, we finally figure out, okay, this is the bottom. Everybody's like, oh my God, they see a little bit of green and like, this is the bottom. It's the bottom. We got bullish momentum, and that's not the case. It doesn't work out like that. No, right? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But again, we're just identifying these patterns. We got these last level support 78.6, 88.6. We marked them up. They're the main time frame. If we go down on smaller time frames, we can actually create these stories, right? We can kind of see a little bit more what's happening. And then we can do the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in, double click side over here, quick little tip, like this, oops, right? Like charts all crazy. Double click over here. Cool. Kind of resets it. Quick little tip for you. All right, but I do want to move it around. So what we're gonna do on a smaller time frame, and actually probably we can even do it on the 4 hour. Let's see how it looks like. I want to do it on the daily. Cool. So we'll go here on the daily, and we're gonna do the same thing we just did, but a little bit smaller of a time frame. And honestly, it already kind of broke through, so it wouldn't be too important to do it here. But I'll kind of show you what I normally would do, right? Because we already broke through here. But these major levels are more important than these little minor levels that I'm kind of showing you at the moment. So, right, we mark from the top to the bottom. I'm kind of curious to see if it comes down to this fib retracement, actually, that 161.8. That would be kind of crazy. I'll check that. I might leave that a little. We'll mark it just for fun. And sometimes I do this, guys, because what's gonna happen, if it comes in at that level. But what I like to do too, so for example, because we're kind of doing a little test, right? This is what I call it's back testing. You're just testing your strategy. I just want to see what it does off this 161.8 fib retracement. And that is the daily level. So we can even get rid of that if we want. But the reason I said it's irrelevant is because we kind of already broke through, right? You can see here's our last level of support. Well, it broke through. Well, now we're back. We're relying on our major levels of support. Now, one thing to keep in mind too is this is the total market cap price. We're looking at 819 billion, and over here on CoinGecko, we are looking at 910. So what was it? 810 to 910. So roughly about $100 billion difference. But what I'm still relying on this on these markups here, so like it might be 100K off, right? But you need to keep in mind that they're 100K off. So if you're looking here on CoinGecko and you're comparing it to here, this 692 level might, or even this 512 level, you might want to look for like 622, right? I think that's the right math on that. The difference, right, from this market cap to this, right? You're about what, 100 and, oh, actually 90 billion. I think I'm right. But regardless, you get what I'm saying. There is a difference, and you want to be aware of that because we're marking it up on these charts. But it's not like it's invalid. You just need to know, okay, there's 100K difference. If I'm expecting for example, if we're expecting it to come down to this 512 billion market cap level, you're going to expect it to be slightly off, right? Right now, the difference is from 819 to 910 to 819, right? It's roughly 100K or 100 billion. So knowing that, you come to this chart and you're like, okay, well, about 612 billion on CoinGecko. So you just want to keep these numbers in mind because they're slightly different. So if you're expecting CoinGecko to come to this level, it might never because these are slightly off. And again, it's not invalid. You just need to know that. All right. But now again, we have the same thing here, these levels as well. And this is without Ethereum and Bitcoin, so we can mark these. And I'm using different levels, but that's okay. There's so many things going on in the market, guys. But it's been honestly awesome. A lot of these projects are literally perfect. I have honestly a list. There's chain links down at a good, literally perfect levels. If I do say so myself. Again, none of this is financial advice. Flow is looking pretty good. Where else were we looking at? Solana is another thing. So Solana actually just had, I think it was 50 million tokens or 500 million tokens, maybe, or no, 200 million tokens, I think are actually pumped in. Let's see if we can see it. So I think it was like 300. Yeah, so it was like 200 million, I think, or 100. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Let's see, Solana. Token Delta. Distribution, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to find it because I literally was just looking at it, but it was a news article pretty much going over how Solana was dropping more tokens or pretty much adding more tokens to their supply. So be aware. I don't know if they already added to it or not, but be aware because that could potentially lower price, right? Which we already had a pretty decent dip. Let's see, right? 7 days, 44%. But we did have a pretty decent dip on it. Let's see. Go back here, but yeah, Solana's another good one. We got Chainlink, Rocket Pool. Honestly, guys, a lot of these good projects, right? You want to make sure they have good a good whatchamacallit, tokenomics, right? For example, we go to Rocket Pool. All their tokens are in circulation, right? The closer this number right here, you can even see right here. The proportion, the closer the market cap, the closer the current, oh, one, the closer the current market capitalization to the fully diluted value and vice versa. The closer the market cap. But the closer to one this is, right? 70% and above is really what I'm looking for when I'm looking at these tokenomics. Me personally, for a project, a good project, that's what I consider a really good project. Now some projects are, they're an exception. But again, these aren't, that crazy. We saw 0.89. Again, if we pull up even Solana, I think Solana wasn't even that great. It doesn't have it. Pull up. Loopring's another good one. Again, tokenomics on it, pretty lit. Yeah, Flow. Flow is actually another good project that partnered with IG. 0.76. So even there's, I mean, they're on the lower end, but that's really what I look forward to. I mean, it's nice because I think they actually just added this here. I don't believe that was there forever ago, but you can actually see it over here as well. So like scrolling through some of these, don't have the best right now, right? Shit, we had Doge. Doge don't even got it, but just something to look at, something you guys can check out too. Let me see. What a Bitcoin. So I'm sure everybody wants to see we got Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, in my opinion, right? This is probably what everybody's going for. Bitcoin, this will be the last thing I cover here. I might just scroll over a couple things here, but there's a lot of FTX stuff that I want to read through first before we just start clicking on articles. But there is some stuff I do want to cover there that adds to the reason why I believe this is going to continue to go lower. Same thing with the total market cap. There's a lot of news, a lot of negative news. So right now we're on the daily. We can see our bigger levels here. These last levels of support. I personally think the exact level I am looking for is 13,183. I'll explain that a little bit later. But for now, guys, I just want to kind of show you something. So we have this again. We're using these fibs, both directions. They work in both directions. Oh my goodness, that is an ugly green. Oof, we gotta change that. I'm so sorry. Wow. I guess it's not that bad when it's like C2. But we have this normal level right here, right? And then again, we have this level here where we have it's usually a stronger trend, right? So we're measuring from here to here, and you can see the market came back up, and we're kind of resisting at that level. Why? I don't know. It's just because I don't know exactly why, right? Why in the market, I can't explain it, but I know based off this pattern, based off the fib tool that I've been using for the past 3.5 years, 4 years trading, that it tends to do that, right? And how it moves off of that. Same thing with this, right? We came to this normal level. What normally happens is it boom continues down. And what happens is we almost literally perfectly touched it, right? And I'm sure if I altered this just slightly, maybe moved it a little bit, it probably would be almost exact. So if I use even like lower here, right, it would probably perfectly touch that 50% level. But that also leads me down to our bigger time frame, which we have these larger levels here, and then this last level support number 2 down there. But again, I think we're personally going to come down here. Now I have this marked up on a smaller time frame on the 4 hours, right? We continue to throw fibs on it. We're still measuring these moves. So let me go get my dome out of the way. So we're measuring from this high to this low, right? So the market came up. We're kind of testing that 50% 618 level again, which also happens to be our last level of support to continue down. And then if we add, where is it at? Where did we get these? I think that was just the 23.6 level. But we continued down, and honestly, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I believe this is going to continue down, and one of them being all of this news, the FTX going down, right? We have a lot of tokens being dumped. Remember when Luna went down? You know, there was a lot of things that also dragged with it, like that were kind of a snowball effect that didn't happen until a day after, 2 days after. So we still have some of that, right? We even have, this was today, El Salvador president denies storing Bitcoin and FTX. You know, so this is super major, guys. There's a lot of things, and you got to understand FTX and FTX US are different companies. Binance and Binance US are different, and you got to be careful when reading some of these too, because if you read it, you know, FTX. Oh my God, FTX. You have to see if it's FTX US or FTX, and that's super important. I believe FTX US is okay, from my understanding, but you know, we want to click through here. You can see Bahama freezes FTX assets, calls for liquidator. We have after rattling confidence. Again, all this is like from today, so I don't want to start. I haven't had a chance to read all of them or go through some major stuff. This is pretty major. And actually, I just saw something that said he did, but we'll see. Because again, I think FTX US was saying that they're safe, or Sam Bankman-Fried again himself was, which actually that's what we can use Twitter for. We'll go to his. Man, Felix is getting, you know, all the love right now. What is it? SBF? I think he's on here as arrested. I don't think he's arrested. Could be him. But you can see he came in here, did his little apology on some thread, and you know, you could read it if you want to. We're not going to do that here. It's pretty long, but there's you could see even here what FTX is pretty much saying they're going to do. You can see here as well, FTX official, I believe. I want to say it was him that said FTX US. Yeah, so this was about FTX International, FTX US, and US based exchange that accepts Americans were not financially impacted by the shit show. It's 100% liquid. Every user could fully withdraw. So you see that right there. FTX US and FTX are different. So you understand, when seeing this, right? What's his name? El Salvador president. He's saying that it's not on FTX. Pretty big, because if he's on the international one, that'll be a big deal. If it's on the US, it's a little different. FTX US warns users that trading can be halted in a few days. So they might want to get their money out of there. If you do have anything in FTX, I'd recommend taking a look at that. But Grayscale's Bitcoin fund has hit a record low. We went over Grayscale's, their little funding thing. Let's see. Coin shares confirms 30.3 million exposure FTX. Yeah, so a lot, again, all this is literally from today. You can see it's been kind of quiet in the crypto space, but now we have all of this news, right? All this negative news. Solana, Google Cloud just became a Solana validator just 5 days ago. And that's actually pretty important too. And they might be even taking a hit now that Solana dropped a little bit. Fed's update tornado cash sanctions. About technology, we got NFTs still from today. Board API Club. NFT price falls after FTX sinks crypto market, which is not surprising, creating fear in the market. Right, we're starting to feel the fear, and there's just, you don't have that fear, the negative sentiment. If you guys are inside of the Telegram chat, I posted quite a bit about it, and you can go in there and read it. But there's just so much stuff happening, guys. Like, it's crazy. So with that being said, we're gonna probably end it here. I gotta hop off into the next call. Pocahontas is over here on my lap. She's about to get a little upset. But I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you got some value out of this. We'll hop on here as often as possible. Maybe try to update you maybe once more per week, because there is some more things happening. And again, there's a lot of coins, a lot of projects that I'm looking at: Compound, Loop Ring, Sushi, again, potentially Flow. Solana, but Cosmos, Rocket Pool, Chainlink, Aave, even ApeCoin. But a lot of these coins, potentially might have had some, backing or some type of, it might not have been marked safe from FTX is what I'm trying to say. But I appreciate you guys. Have an awesome rest of the night. If there's anything you want to see in a future video, put it in the link below or the video below. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you all. And if there's anything you want to see again, drop in the comments, tag your friends, and we appreciate you. Have a good one. We will see you next time. I'm out. Peace.